Hey y'all, this screencast covers allergies as a disorder of the immune system. Allergies are a hypersensitivity of the immune system. They occur when our immune systems make a mistake and see a harmless thing that has entered the body as antigenic. In an attempt to destroy the harmless foreign invader, the immune system causes damage to our body's own tissues. In southwest Idaho, pollen grains are the major outdoor allergens. During the springtime in our area, trees and grass are blooming, and in the fall, it is sagebrush and weeds. If you suffer from allergies, you may find that they are just seasonal, meaning that your body is having an allergic reaction, most likely to something that is currently pollinating, or they may be year-round. Year-round allergies in our area are often caused by pet dander from indoor animals. Allergies are caused by allergens, which are simply antigens that cause allergies rather than infectious illness. Allergies are classified as immediate hypersensitivities, meaning that typically an allergic response to the allergen begins immediately after exposure and symptoms last for about half an hour. Because of this, if you do have seasonal allergies, a neti pot can be a great tool to decrease the symptoms and reduce the suffering, as it washes allergens out of the nasal cavity where they have become trapped and are causing the allergic response. Some people suffer from allergies and some do not. For those that suffer from allergies, they may be allergic to many different things or just one thing. The reason that some of us have allergies and some of us do not is because allergies develop through a process which is known as sensitization. If you have developed an allergy to sagebrush pollen or cat dander or peanut protein, it is because your body has become sensitized to that substance and it now sees it as something harmful and foreign. In order for sensitization to occur, you must have been exposed to the allergen at least once in your life. Theoretically, it isn't possible for you to be born allergic to something or for you to have an allergic response the first time you are exposed to something. It is also possible to be exposed to something hundreds of times without becoming sensitized to it, but then have an exposure that causes sensitization. I never had any allergies until I was 30, at which point I developed a pretty severe allergy to cottonwood pollen. So at that point, my body had become sensitized to cottonwood pollen, whereas it never had been before, and it wasn't sensitized to anything else either. The next 3 slides cover how this process of sensitization occurs. The first step is that the allergen must enter your body. Many allergens, including pollen and dander, are going to do this by being inhaled into the nasal cavities. Others, like peanut protein, may enter on foods that we eat, and some, like bee venom, may be injected directly into our bodies. The swiggle line with red circles attached in this picture is representing some allergen that has entered the body. We'll say it is sagebrush pollen. The next step in the process may happen the first time you are exposed to sagebrush pollen, or it may happen after many exposures, but the process of sensitization occurs when B cells bind the allergen. Remember that once B cells have bound to an antigen and become activated, they initiate a response whereby many antibodies to the antigen are produced, and that is what happens in this case. Plasma cells begin to produce thousands of class IgE antibodies that are specific for or capable of binding to the sagebrush pollen. The IgE antibodies produced then attach to basophils circulating in body fluids and to mast cells. Mast cells are similar to basophils but are found in body tissues rather than in body fluids. Once this attachment has occurred, you are sensitized to the antigen, the sagebrush pollen in this case, meaning that your body will respond to it with an immune system attack if it enters the body again. The next 3 slides cover what happens in your body when you are again exposed to the antigen, the sagebrush pollen, that you have been sensitized against. So let's assume it's fall in Idaho and sagebrush is in bloom. Our air is full of sagebrush pollen, and you inhale that pollen into your nasal cavity where it becomes trapped and initiates what is known as the secondary response. You already have basophils and mast cells with IgE antibodies specific for sagebrush pollen circulating in your body. When those cells encounter more sagebrush pollen in your nasal cavities, their attached IgE antibodies bind that pollen at their antigen binding sites. Remember that basophils are a type of granulated leukocyte. Mast cells are also granulated. Within their granules, basophils and mast cells produce histamine. This histamine is released from the granules through a process known as degranulation. When these cells bind to antigens they are activated against. So your basophils and mast cells bind sagebrush pollen in your nasal cavity, and this causes them to release histamine and other inflammatory chemicals into the area. Histamine causes blood vessels in and around the area where it is released to dilate and become leaky. This is why, if you suffer from seasonal allergies, the allergic response causes redness and swelling of tissues in and around your nasal cavities. It ups mucus production in this area as well, leading to a runny nose. The inflammatory response may occur in the eyes also, causing redness, an increase in tear production, and problems with tear draining, leading to watery eyes and increased problems with that runny nose. Histamine is also a bronchoconstrictor, meaning that it causes airways to constrict. Air moves through airways just like blood moves through blood vessels, so a constriction of airways makes breathing more difficult, and this is why allergies are often associated with asthma. Luckily, most allergic responses are localized. This means that you only have release of histamine and the swelling and inflammation it causes in the small area of the body that is exposed to the allergen. So most allergies only have the potential to make you feel miserable for a while until the allergen is gone, and then the immune response stops. Anaphylaxis is different. It is the most severe type of allergy attack. With anaphylaxis, rather than having a localized response, basophils and mast cells all over the body degranulate and release histamine. This means that rather than having only a small area of the body that is affected by histamine release, the entire body experiences the effects. Blood vessels relax and become leaky. Airways constrict. This causes a potentially life-threatening cardiovascular and respiratory situation, and it is a medical emergency. While any substance could potentially cause an anaphylactic reaction in someone who has become sensitized to it, peanuts are by far the most common allergen that causes anaphylactic deaths. Anaphylactic reactions to eggs, insect stings, latex, and shellfish are relatively common as well. Now that you've had the chance to learn a little about how allergies develop, you'll have a chance to work with this material a little bit more and see how the immune system can influence other systems in the body through the case study that I've created on anaphylaxis. This concludes the screencast on allergies.